Good morning, Gym Junkies. How you doing? Thank you very much to Dan Blackney, who coined the phrase Gym Junkie. I quite like that. And this is the little workout for the day to get you up to speed. Now, you'll see I've been joined by Russell Monday again, one of our coaches in the gym. He's Morning, Russell. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Cheers, guys.
Russell's a pretty high-octane guy, so he's struggling with the fact that he has to stay in his house the whole time. So he's fully charged to share some of his tactics today, because today we're going to be thinking about thinking out of the box. What are some of the ways that we can find new business in order to thrive in the current market? So let's go, because it's Thursday. We've got all to play for, and I'm not sure about you, but it's starting to feel a bit like the new normal. Like last week, I felt like someone had poured petrol on me. Where now I'm sort of just trying to sort of find my feet and feeling like there's a plan going forward. So one of the things that made me want to talk about thinking out of the box today is one of our coaches, Paul Jewick, emailed yesterday to the group of coaches that we work with within the recruiting gym. And he was advising one of his clients who was a very perm-heavy recruiter. And it was a very perm-heavy recruiter. And my wife decided to print everything for the day. It's a very perm-heavy recruiter. And he said to her, he said, well, have you spoken to your clients about temp work? And she was like, no. And he was like, well, go and talk to them about temp work. And she went to speak to her client, and they were like, actually, we do need temps because our call center in India has closed down and we need to service our UK clients. And she picked up 40 vacancies that will keep her busy for the next 6 months. So the goal is thinking outside of the box. So Russell, why is now a great time to be a contract recruiter?
Well, obviously, there's going to be a lot of freezes on perm hires, but that means that actually the world needs to move on and people still need to complete projects or have work done. So actually, that second option is bringing a temp in. So it's a perfect time to sell the temp opportunity. Yeah.
And recruitment at its simplest level is about availability of resource and capability of resource. And so it may be within the organization, they have a shortage of resource. So, for instance, the workload hasn't gone away, but they're reluctant to commit to a perm head, or they're going to have internal change programs that they can't facilitate with their internal skill sets. So, in your experience, Russell, this sort of understanding the world as it is, because I know you're a big believer in looking at the business and then using business information to find opportunities. Yeah. Where would you see the opportunities being within organizations as this starts to play out?
Well, I'll definitely start to look at the sort of sectors that would obviously be buoyant. Obviously, I'm not going to go through those, but those would be pretty obvious. And then
but Russell, it's not obvious, because remember, everyone's sitting down and their world is melting, and we know
I'll look at logistics, because there's a lot of product being moved around. I'll be looking at public sector. I'll be,
Why would you look at public sector, Russell? Because surely government spending will be going down after this, not up.
Well, because part of public sector is NHS, the ambulance service, police, all this is, they're needing to staff up. Obviously, with what's going on with, the inland revenue, they're going to need more bodies, more heads. That means they need more technology.
So what you're saying is because basically because the country is run by the government now, government needs to become bigger.
Yeah. So you've just got to really look at the sectors that, you're talking about energy, oil and gas, utilities, but you're then looking at companies that supply into those, because some of those huge organizations might be difficult to get into. But as an example, I've worked for large engineering recruitment businesses, and you'd have a huge automotive company that I wouldn't work with, but I would work with the suppliers that supply into those large organizations. So what
you're saying is it's thinking about the sector, and then you've got to think about the people that supply into those.
Exactly, the subsidiaries that would supply into those sectors. I mean, you can do that by, doing little Boolean searches, doing CV searches, getting candidates up that would have worked in those sectors, and then looking at who they've worked for.
Yeah.
And
Russell, Paul mentioned that a lot of public sector is ring fenced because you've got to be on frameworks, and we've got a podcast going live soon with Fiona Brunton, who helps agencies with bids and tenders. But what my advice would be is that find the other companies that sell into the public sector and sell into them. So move back through the supply chain. So find that.
I would never say you can't. I mean, I've worked with a client the other day, and they supplied into the NHS, and they're not on the framework. And they found a contractor that was finishing. He didn't want to extend. They introduced himself to the manager, offered an option of someone that could replace that person. Never worked at the NHS before, made a contract placement. Yeah. So for me,
and the thing is that there is always the ability to do spot deals around frameworks. It's when you want to do 30 deals that it starts becoming difficult. But spot deals is important. So a game that we used to play, Russell, is that we used to pick an industry sector, and then we would write down the names of the big players in those sectors. Yeah. And then we would write down the companies that supply into that sector.
So you'd just be industry mapping. So you'd map it like you would do a headhunt. If you had a specific niche candidate you were looking for, you would just do the same with the sector and then funnel down. Yeah, most definitely.
So what changes do you think would need to be made internally, Russell? Let's say, for example, I'm a perm recruiter. I'm working in a business predominantly perm. Yeah. So aside from the fact I'm a little bit slower than a contract recruiter, that's because I come from a temp background. We always used to have. There's only two types of recruiters: the quick and the dead, and you know which one the temp consultant is. Yeah. But I'm going to get a load of vitriol now on the feed from recruiters. So, but what
the administration part of the business anyway?
How do I get my mindset straight around the differences between trying to look for contract business as opposed to perm business?
I think you've just got to start adding some extra questions when you're speaking to your clients. So for me, the mindset would just be write 2 extra questions down when you're speaking to your clients. Have you considered interim staff? Who in the business is bringing interim staff into the business at the moment? So just add in a few extra questions to your conversation. So you're just cross-selling. That's literally, yeah. So your mindset should be, I need a vacancy. It doesn't really matter if it's contract or permanent. So just ask them questions.
And I guess it's going to the people that, like, so for instance, what will happen is you've got a long list of people that are recruiting before this happened. And it's engaging with them to go, like, I guess this recruitment isn't going to happen now, but what's happening to the workload? Yeah. Remember, contract recruitment is much more sensitive between availability and capability of resource, because it's a tap that can be turned on or off. I need a niche skill for 3 months. I need to execute this change in the business. I need that skill. Or I've got too much work, but I don't want to recruit permanently. I need to get that skill covered.
Yeah. So you're right. The question would be, what's happening? Those vacancies have been put on hold. What's happening with the work? What impact will that have on the business if you don't bring a resource in over the next period? Have you considered a contractor? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the sort of.
And any organisations that have been going through a form of digital transformation. That's why I think the IT sector will continue to do well, because what the sort of the recession in sort of 8, 9, 10, 11 did is that companies worked really hard to start cutting people out of their organization. And that was driven by digital transformation. How can we automate our delivery process? How can we deliver online? How can we sell straight to customers? So if you've got customers that have gone through that, just asking a question of, how do you think this is going to impact your transformation process or your move towards digital delivery?
Yeah. And I think, also if you want a few tips on, if people push back on interim staff, I can give you a few tips on the feature benefits of hiring.
Great, let's do that. Let's go through the feature benefits of taking a contractor on.
Okay, well, the obvious feature is you can get someone immediately. That means they can start on your project and obviously make sure that the project or the product or whatever gets delivered on time. Sometimes people push back on cost, but if you've been looking for 2 or 3 months for a permanent person, you've obviously got 2 or 3 months worth of salary in your bank now that you've not paid out. So if the salary was going to be 80k, you potentially got £15,000 that you wouldn't have had.
Okay.
I think what people miss is they think that they're not going to retain the skills. But actually, if you want anyone to upskill your perm team, because your perm technical people will become stagnant because they're working around the same people day in, day out, you bring a fresh pair of ears and eyes in that has got a multitude of skills and worked in different sectors, then a contractor is brilliant to upskill your people. So it's real value for money. So you may not retain that person, but what you would do is you retain their skill sets because you'll be putting those skill sets onto other permanent members of the team.
And that's what great contract recruiters are able to do, is that one of the reasons why people don't like bringing contractors on is that when they leave, the knowledge leaves. What great contract recruiters do is they build knowledge transfer into the brief. So it may be their job is to do A, B, and C. But the last part of their job is to make sure Bob can do A, B, and C when you leave.
Exactly. So the two big objections you'll get from clients is cost and not retaining their skill sets. Well, those have both been covered. So those objections have both been covered in terms of they've got money in the bank they wouldn't have had. And actually, you can get this individual to actually upskill your team so that when they leave, they will have the skills that they would have had. So it's very easy.
Yeah. And the benefit, especially in uncertain times, is that they've got the ability to sort of turn off and on that resource.
Completely.
And some markets are easy. And obviously, one of the things we haven't spoken about is IR35 has been postponed for a year. I think big organizations that have done a lot of work on it already, I think they will just push on it. Like they will just run with it anyway, because they don't want to have to go through the hassle again. But I think that opens up the contract market. I mean, do you think the delay of IR35 will help the market at all?
Oh, completely. And actually, I've did some contract. I've worked with some contract consultants yesterday. And one of the things I said is I will be phoning up all the clients that I've seen have let go of lots of contractors and trying to get them back on site. And those don't have to be contractors that were through your clients, because a lot of those contractors maybe will have fallen out with the client, or maybe they just want to bring someone fresh in. So I'd be looking at all contractors that finished because of IR35, and I'll be pitching them in and pitching them to clients. Okay. I mean, that's mutually a contract thing, really. And I know this is just about thinking about pitching contract.
Cool. Well, I know, Russell, you're going to be starting a group in the recruiting gym where people can get coaching on how to grow a contract desk, sort of day to day. I think as we bring the startup or to a close, what I'd encourage everyone to do is that if you're thinking about the fact that actually maybe we should start doing some contract, the driver for a contract hire is very different from a perm hire. Perm is about there being a vacancy. Contract is about there being a problem in the business.
Okay.
It's a distressed purchase. And so the question I would encourage you all to ask to every client that you work with over the next few weeks is, what has to go wrong in your business for you to take a contractor on?
Yeah.
What would have to change in your business for you to take a contractor on? Because they are a strategic resource. And learn the companies that philosophically understand what contractors can do, rather than saying, do you need a temp? Because that's level one recruitment.
I mean, I think the contract market is going to be so busy because everyone's going to be trying to catch up and bringing profit back into the business, because everyone's going to be 2 months behind their projected revenue targets. Projects are going to be delayed. And actually, although contractors might seem expensive and people won't have as much money, but then they're going to need to bring contractors in to deliver on these projects and make money. So, and because of the delay in IR35, if I was a contract consultant now, I'd be rubbing my hands when things pick up. But I'll be making my calls now, pipelining, introducing myself to people, not to win business, but really just to show my care, and I'm there as and when they need me.
Yeah, and that's just offering advice, sharing strategies on working from home, managing remotely, tech tools. It's just being there and being present.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Russell, that's the end of the stand up for the day. Thank you very much for joining us today. Gym Junkies, great to see you again. Russell will be back. We're going to have Claire Davis with us tomorrow. And we're thinking about how we get our heads straight and make sure we recognize the good week we've had, even though we may not feel like it at a financial level. So have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.